Hi, good morning, everybody. It's Rebecca Packard, and I wanted to just hop on and say Happy May. Happy May Day. I know a lot of people have a lot of different things going on in their life right now, and that there is so much happening in the world. Hello, welcome. Good morning. And I know that the people that are hopping on are seeing the bigger picture of May. Yes, it's a space of birth, it's a space of regeneration, it's a space of hope, it's a space of light, it's a space of awakening. It's also the kickoff to Mental Health Month. This month is focused and aligned in the space of mental health, mental awareness, mental balance, and taking in the space of finding who you are, finding what you are, finding your bigger purpose in life, finding how you're going to show up in the world. When we look at mental health, people think, oh, that has to do with depression and anxiety. All of those things have to do with long suppressed trauma. Hard to say, right? I truly believe that most things that happen as we are adults, the chaos that we create and attract and envelop and embrace on all levels is because of the unresolved trauma, the unresolved emotional distress, the unresolved awareness to show up for ourselves with different things like self-care, self-tools, and just knowing how to show up for emotional stability. We aren't taught that. Much like we're not taught how to balance our own checkbooks, in life we're not always taught how to deal with our emotions, how to show up for our emotions, and how to let our emotions show up in our life. And I have spent years, years going through different courses and trainings and coachings and certifications and professions and careers to come to the space of recognizing that there is one thing that is lacking across all fields, across all boards, and it's starting at some point. Just starting. It's not knowing what to do. It's starting to figure out what to do. It's not having all the answers. It's starting to look for an answer. It's not knowing who to talk to or where to go or what to do or how to do it. It's starting. We get ourselves into these human situations where we want to do everything perfect. We want to show up amazing. We want all the world to see all the amazingness that we are and all these different things. And what it really comes down to is we forget to start. We forget to come to balance. We forget to unflip the switch of trauma. We forget to be still in our own space because we're trying to run and be the most amazing and be the best and be this, that, and the other thing. And all of that and all of the spaces of that come from us being able to be still, to take a breath, to be at ease, to find peace, to create peace, to embrace peace. When we unflip that switch, when we allow ourselves to come to that space, when we show up in the space of being still, so many of our answers get answered, or so many of our questions get answered. So many things come to us so easily, and a lot of it comes with the space of it's okay to let go. We want to hold on to everything, which is why we become mentally distressed, mentally burdened, mentally overwhelmed, mentally underwhelmed, because we go into the space of fight, flight, or fawn when this happens, when we are unable to sit and be still and recognize what needs to be seen, allow it to be seen, and then let go, or allow it to process. I've talked to so many people recently, and kind of shockingly, a lot of people don't recognize that there is a space, it's an emotional wheel that takes place in us. And every single time we show up in the world and we have an interaction, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, we work ourselves through the emotional wheel. We have to go through a process so we can come out on the other side. It's really funny because a lot of people will be like, oh, well, I do this, this, and this in the space of like, what's your sales marketing? How do you show up for your family? How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Like, but when it comes to emotions, they're like, well, I'm either happy or I'm sad, or I'm either this or I'm that, or I do this or that, and I feel this or that. And it's like, nope, there's a whole sequence of emotions that take place. And when we don't allow ourselves to go through this whole sequence of emotions, we get stuck. It's a process. Everything we do, everything that happens to us, with us, around us is a process. And we are moving so quickly that we're missing the process, that we are disconnecting from the process. We are shutting down the process, and it's why we are getting stuck. It's why depression is skyrocketing. It's why anxiety is skyrocketing. It is why violent occurrences are skyrocketing, because we have no foundational space to show up for ourselves, to be taught and implement tools that can help us to balance our emotional state on a regular basis. And with that, we come undone. We are not meant to carry everything. We are not meant to hold on to everything. We are not meant to just carry our luggage around. It's just not meant to be. For a very long time, for centuries and centuries and centuries, we showed up for each other, and we cared for each other, and we held space for each other. We dressed in ways that showed society how to treat us during mourning. We cut our hair certain ways to show society and people around us how to support us when we needed it. These were all things that happened until the 19th century, until 1930, really, in the space of the United States. And I know that's not true for the rest of the world, but in the United States, 1930s when we really started to come away from that space, where we really started to shift out of that space of showing up in that way. And not all, but most communities. There are communities who are still very tight-knit and have all of these spaces, but so many more than not. Okay, are lacking that space of connection, are lacking that space of balance, are lacking that emotional stability, are lacking the village that it takes to be human. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and but it really takes a village to raise a world, to raise awareness, to show up in fullness, to hold space for a human. And so I want to invite you to the space of allowing and learning tools and sharing tools and coming to the space to be able to emotionally support yourself, and coming to a space of being able to emotionally support your family and your community, and learn things that can help you to offset the imbalance, to offset the overwhelm and the anxiety and the depression and the mental disconnect that's taking place in a massive space in this world. And so if that is something that you are interested in, I invite you to come over to Facebook at The Gathering with Rebecca Packard and join that group, to join my business page, Rebecca Packard Live Free, and to follow me on Instagram at Rebecca Packard NH, and to find out more about the tools that I use to help people to create emotional freedom in their lives, to create sustainable wellness in their lives, to create emotional balance in their lives, so that they can live your best life, so you can show up in the best way possible for you and your family and friends, community, and work. All of us have amazing dreams. All of us have big goals, big dreams, big ambitions, and so many of us are not meeting those spaces because we have all of this baggage that needs to be put down. And 5 years ago, I was in that space. 5 years ago, I said yes to an opportunity that changed my entire life, and it has impacted me on so many levels, allowing me to come to the space of having emotional balance, emotional stability, emotional awareness, and to have tools that have been able to help me and my family and my friends and my coworkers and my clients. And I want to share those with you, so that you can have them also. So If you aren't already, again, I invite you to become a part of the community I've created in the Gathering with Rebecca Packard, and to follow me on my business page at Rebecca Packard Live Free, and to connect with me on Instagram at Rebecca Packard NH, and to accumulate these tools, fill your life toolbox, and allow yourself to show up for yourself. The first thing to do is to step forward, to say yes, to choose to evolve, right? You are in the space of being called to move into action, and that is in small incremental steps. We call it mastering the mundane of life, right? And so the more tools you have, the better you'll be at life. And so if you are somebody who is jonesing to just move to the next space of your life, do not pass this up. Come and participate. These are all things that are free, and allow yourself to receive the healing that takes place in these areas, and allow yourself to learn about the tools and the different things that I share with you as my community and my clients, and that I use every single day in my own practice to have the life that I am beyond grateful to be living, because it wasn't that long ago where I was drowning in overwhelm. I was drowning in self-doubt and anxiety and depression, and unable to do anything to move myself forward. And I was in physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, and spiritual pain. And now I live a pretty incredible life with a global business that's helping people in all aspects and touching millions of lives. And so I hope that you are having an amazing day, and feel free to reach out, ask me questions, touch base with me. I'm a real human, you're a real human, and don't forget that when you show up in this space, that even though we might be talking over a digital platform, or we might be showing up in a digital space, we are real people, and we are here to move mountains and to make greatness, right? So I love you, and I will see you all later. Bye.